Trump told the world today how he's going to try to steal the 2026 midterm elections to keep Republicans in the majorities in Congress, in both the House of Representatives and the Senate. And he told us how he's going, or how he would try to steal the 2028 election so that he can remain as president for a third, perhaps fourth term.
Brian, go ahead, Brian.
Yes, sir. I've got a question for each of you. First of all, Mr. President Zelenskyy, you look fabulous in that suit.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, you look good.
I said the same thing.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice? That's the one that attacked you last time. See, now he's. I remember that.
You look wonderful. No, my first question for you,
But
President
you
Zelenskyy.
are in the same suit. You see, I changed. You are not.
Maybe yours is much better. Real quickly, upon peace, God willing we get peace, are you open to holding an election in your country?
Yes, of course. We are open for election, yes. We have to do safety circumstances. And a little bit, we need to work in the parliament, because during the war you can't have elections, but we can do security. We need, maybe, how to say, we need a truth, yes, everywhere, in the battlefield, in the sky, in the sea, yeah, to make possible for people to do democratic, open, legal elections.
So you say during the war you can't have elections. So let me just say 3.5 years from now. So you mean if we happen to be in a war with somebody, no more elections? Oh, that's good. I wonder what the fake.
You like this idea?
No, this is
No.
What an atrocious thing to say from Donald Trump. And I would argue that him laughing about it makes him so much worse than if he were actually serious. And I'm not convinced that he isn't serious. I'm sure there will be mega, commenters saying he's just joking. But that's what con men and fraudsters and bullies do. They threaten you, but it sounds lighthearted so that not everyone takes it seriously. But we know that Donald Trump would, at the blink of an eye, start a war so that he could continue to remain in power, continue to evade investigations and impeachment for his past crimes and corruption. Volodymyr Zelenskyy here is trying to end a war to start up democracy. Meanwhile, Donald Trump, jokingly, thinking it's humorous, threatening to start a war to end democracy here in the United States of America. Now, this wasn't the only time in this just meeting alone that Donald Trump tried to attack democracy here at home. He was asked about mail-in ballots. Listen to what he had to say.
All right, Brian, go first.
You pushed out on social media about doing away with mail-in ballots and potentially electronic voting machines. Can you explain on that? How?
Well, I will. That's a very off-topic. Just really quickly, mail-in ballots are corrupt. Mail-in ballots, you can never have a real democracy with mail-in ballots. And we, as a Republican Party, are going to do everything possible that we get rid of mail-in ballots. We're going to start with an executive order that's being written right now by the best lawyers in the country to end mail-in ballots because they're corrupt. And you know that we're the only country in the world, I believe, I may be wrong, but just about the only country in the world that uses them because of what's happened. Massive fraud all over the place. The other thing we want change are the machines. For all of the money they spend, it's approximately 10 times more expensive than paper ballots. And paper ballots are very sophisticated with the watermark paper and everything else. We would get secure elections. We'd get much faster results. The machines, I mean, they say we're going to have the results in 2 weeks. With paper ballots, you have the results that night. Most people, many countries use paper ballots. It's the most secure form. So between paper ballots, very, very important, paper ballots, and I think maybe even more important, the mail-in voting. We're going to end mail-in voting. It's a fraud. If you have mail-in vote, even Jimmy Carter with this commission, they set it up. He said the one thing about mail-in voting, you will never have an honest election if you have mail-in. And it's time that the Republicans get tough and stop it because the Democrats want it. It's the only way they can get elected because with men and women's sports and with transgender for everybody and open borders and all of the horrible things, and now the new thing is they love crime. They're fighting me on the fact that I've made Washington, D.C. safe. We're not going to get mugged, beaten up, or killed like all the people you've been watching get so badly hurt. I'm glad, I hate to take your time in this, but I'm glad you asked me that question.
Sorry.
We're going to stop mail-in ballots because it's corrupt. You know, when you go to a voting booth and you do it the right way and you go to a state that runs it properly, you go in, they even ask me, they asked me for my license plate, for identity. I said, I don't know if I have it. He said, sir, you have to have it. I was very impressed, actually. But it's very hard to cheat with mail-in voting. As you know what happens in California, it's so corrupt, where some people get 5, 6, 7 ballots delivered to them. Now, we got to stop mail-in voting, and the Republicans have to lead the charge. The Democrats want it because they have horrible policy. If you have mail-in voting, you're not going to have many Democrats get elected. That's bigger than anything having to do with redistricting, believe me. And the Republicans have to get smart. We're not going to have a country. I said for a long time at rallies, you need borders and you need free and fair elections. Those two things, otherwise you don't have. We have strong borders now. In 90 days, Mr. President, we didn't have 1, 0, 0, and 3 months. Not one person came in illegally into our country. In fact, even I find that hard to believe, but it's run by a little bit of a liberal group that put out the numbers, so I guess it's, but 0, 0, and 0. You go back a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 millions of people poured into our country. It was terrible. Thank you very much.
Of course, those statements were full of lies. Donald Trump says there that they're the United States is the only country who uses mail-in ballots. Of course, that's not true. 34 countries use mail-in ballots, ranging from Austria, Italy, Mexico, Hungary, India, Thailand, Canada, Germany, Switzerland, on and on. And then Trump says that mail-in ballots are full of fraud. It's completely corrupt. There have been numerous investigations into mail-in ballots. Numerous courts have looked at this and found almost no evidence of fraud. The estimates for the percentage of fraud by investigations in courts led us to a 0.00001% of fraud to 0.0025% of fraud. Nearly 1 in 40,000 ballots were allegedly fraudulent. So Donald Trump here is letting us know what the strategy is for 2026 and 2028. And we need to be ready. The courts need to be ready. The Democratic Party needs to be ready to push back on this. Independent watch groups, justice groups need to be and have the lawyers ready to go, because Donald Trump is a moron who is telling us what he's going to do.